Bandidos, what up, your boy Tux here. Hey, if you've been sleeping on The Division 2, it's time to wake up because this game just smashed player count records on Steam and the community is absolutely buzzing. I'm diving into why this 6-year-old game is popping off in 2025, what's driving this crazy surge, and why it's not all gumdrops and rainbows. Let's do this.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you. I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
First up, let's talk numbers because they don't lie. According to Steam charts, on June 1st, 2025, The Division 2 hit a new high of 14,793 concurrent players on Steam alone, tracking to beat its previous Steam record of 14,838 from May 2023. And check this, the average player count in June 2025 jumped to just shy of 10,000, which is a whopping 157% increase from May's 3,700. That's a glow up. That's right, this game, which didn't even hit Steam until 2023, is outdoing itself years later. That's wild for a game that launched back in 2019. The deal is, Steam's just part of the story. It's difficult to pinpoint an exact number of players since the game's launch across all platforms because official numbers are not readily available. However, The Division 2 has sold over 10 million units, and the publisher themselves have said there's been over 20 million players across the franchise, Division 1 and Division 2. Sites like Player Tracker have an estimated active players of around 125,000 across all of the platforms. The fact that we're seeing these numbers now, 6 years later, is nuts. Why does this matter? Well, there's the obvious. A big player base means you're never stuck waiting for a squad. More importantly, the surge proves The Division 2 isn't just alive, it has the potential to thrive. So what's got everyone rushing back to DC and New York? It's not just nostalgia. Let's break it down. 2 words. Well, sort of. 3 words. Battle for Brooklyn. This DLC, part of the Crossroads update, dropped on May 27th, 2025, and it's a big deal. Ubisoft brought us back to New York with a new campaign, new enemies, and dope new skills like smart cover. And there's even the new Catalyst exotic mask. This is the first major expansion since Warlords of New York in 2020, and it's got fans hyped. But it's not just the DLC. Ubisoft's been keeping it fresh with special events or projects, like the Game Pass event that's providing an exclusive weapon if you can get it done. And there's also going to be a summer event, which I imagine is going to help maintain these numbers, if not spike them. Discounts have also helped. Steam-based noted the game was down to $2.99 with a 90% discount, making it a no-brainer for new players. And we just had a free weekend, which surely contributed to those big numbers. I keep my ear to the ground, and what I hear from the community, from those new players, they're loving the game. Although it never got the time and the limelight that it deserved, it really is one of the best looter shooters out there. The Division 2's mix of cover-based shooting, RPG, looting, and co-op missions is still addicting, even 6 years later. Let's put things into perspective though. The Division 2's 15,000 peak on Steam is on the smaller side, but for a game that's entered its 7th year and wasn't on Steam at launch, it's quite impressive. Even Star Wars Battlefront 2 broke player records in 2025, showing older games can make a comeback with the right updates. The Division 2 is riding that same wave. Unlike some games that go free to play to boost numbers, The Division 2 is still a paid title, so this surge is all about quality content pulling players back. The community's loving the surge too, especially with the expansion, which is packed with people for matchmaking. It's awesome that the Division's getting some attention, but is it in a great spot? So while the hype train's still rolling full speed ahead, it's hitting some bumpy tracks. Let's peel back the curtain and dive into the nitty-gritty of what's going wrong, because even with all this love pouring in, there's some serious stuff tripping up the experience. From wonky servers to radio silence from the devs, at the moment, we're waiting in a mess. And we need to talk about why Paradise isn't quite as perfect as it seems. All right, Bandidos, let's soak in the vibe for a sec. The Division 2 is absolutely thriving right now, bringing back old school fans and roping in a ton of noobs. But, yep, that's a but, here's where things get a little messy. With all these players flooding in, it's like Ubisoft threw the ultimate block party, invited the whole neighborhood, and then realized they didn't stock enough snacks or even reinforce the floors. The cracks are starting to show, and not just the little ones. We're talking server issues that make you feel like you're lagging through molasses. We're seeing queues just to get in the game, gear that glitches out, and a dev team that's been quieter than a ghost town in the middle of a sandstorm. It's really bad when you feature a brand new exotic mask and make it hard to get, and then said exotic mask doesn't even work. The Catalyst exotic mask doesn't give you the status effect or weapon damage bonuses that it promises. It's not all doom and gloom, but the community is buzzing and not always in a good way. It's very mixed out there. You see, a spike this big comes with growing pains, and it's almost like they didn't plan for it. You can't cram thousands of extra agents into a game this complex without some wires getting crossed. And when those wires cross, you get chaos. Sometimes the fun kind, sometimes the why isn't my call for backup matchmaking working kind. And that has people like me scratching my head saying, hey, why isn't their team on standby? And surely their team is working hard behind the scenes. I'm not gonna be naive and say that they're not, but here's the deal. At the time I'm releasing this video, it's Tuesday, June 3rd. And Tuesdays are the days the devs usually drop a patch, if they're gonna drop a patch. And we have some serious bugs in the game, not just the servers. Our stash space sometimes says we don't have any stash and we can't access it, and then we have to do some workarounds to get back all of that hard worked gear we've earned. And then there's the call for backup bug that is driving everybody nuts. And there's a lot of bugs. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the silence is killing me, especially because the developers just expanded their community management team. And this would be the perfect time for them to reach out and let us know what's going on. Like, hey, we're aware of the bugs and we're working on them. So there is a known issues board on Trello, which does not represent all of the bugs in the game by any means, but they can't rely on the average player to go here. This is a good moment for the devs to pivot and change their communication habits and be a little bit more proactive. People are loving this game, and even longtime players who've dealt with tons of bugs are still willing to push through, but that's not everybody. There are tons that get fed up and bounce. And sometimes a simple tweet can plug some holes. So while the surge in players is absolutely fantastic and awesome for the game, can it hold? I do worry and wonder if we can sustain. It's up to the devs. They gotta follow through, stabilize those servers, patch up the bugs, and more importantly, communicate and let the community know what they're up to, because all this game needs is a couple of back-to-back W's. Drop a comment, let me know what you think of the Division 2 Surge and the new DLC.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?